guys, it's me Courtney and welcome to my channel. I hope you guys had an awesome new year. I hope your year is going well so far. I know there's a lot of craziness still going on in the world. However, I hope you and yours are doing well. In today's video, we are finally going to be talking about the new Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'R Soft Matte Powder Foundation. I actually ended up picking up two shades of this. I got the shade 330 because I wanted to try it under my eyes, and that's like my concealer shade. And I also ended up picking up the shade 370, which is my normal Fenty match. So if you are interested in a few demos, a wear test, all that great stuff, then please continue to watch. Alright guys, so this is what the actual compact looks like. I know you guys have probably seen it already by now. Now it is a regular plastic case. It's not really heavy feeling or anything like that, but it doesn't necessarily feel cheap either. When you open it up, it does come with a nice size mirror. You have your product in the middle. You have another mirror on the other side. It comes with a sponge like most powder foundations do. I did try this with the actual puff. I wasn't crazy about the application with that one, so we're not even going to do that today. This powder foundation is $36. You do get 9.1 grams. In comparison to the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Powder Foundation, this is one of my favorite powder foundations. This one is $38 for 11 grams. Then you have the Urban Decay Stay Naked Powder Foundation. This one is $39 for 6 grams, so it's a little bit less. And then the KVD Vegan Beauty, this is the Lock-It Powder Foundation. This one is $37 for 9 grams as well. This foundation also comes in the famous Fenty 50 shades, so I went ahead and got 370 in this one as well. This foundation was pretty true to color. In fact, if anything, it may show up a little bit darker, especially if you use like a sticky base, which I don't recommend. I'm gonna just use my no problem, and I'm not gonna use a lot. I am suffering from like a lightweight breakout. It wasn't from any like facial products or this product or anything like that. It's actually from some hair care that I was trying that was new, and it did not sit right with my skin. So we're sort of going to be testing it over a little bit of texture. For powder foundations, they can be a little bit tricky in like your application of it. Some powder foundations you can actually use a wet sponge and it's fine. Some powder foundations brushes work better. Some powder foundations you have to do your cream products first, that sort of thing. And I like to test out like a realm of different ways to do it. Today I'm going to go in like a regular foundation, but I am going to show you guys a separate situation where I do my cream products underneath, so you guys can see what that looks like as well. This is an e.l.f. powder brush. I like to sort of tap in a little bit, but I'm kind of pressing and wiping, if that makes sense. So I'm going to be going in like that. So this is no foundation, and this is one light layer. And as you can see, it does a really good job of sort of evening out the skin tone. You're still gonna be able to see a little bit of my moles and stuff peeking through, which I'm not mad at all. I feel like this is a very natural skin-like foundation. This is me with one full layer, and as you can see, it does give a pretty decent medium coverage. I would be curious to see if you can build this to full. I have tried a few times. It doesn't really build up that much. And the one thing that I was super nervous about was actual like being able to see my texture, especially because like I said, I do have like a slight breakout, and you could see it a little bit, but it's not emphasizing it, especially it being a powder. So that's really good. I'm gonna go in per usual where I usually do highlighting and stuff like that. Keep in mind this is the Fenty concealer, and if you guys have been watching me for a minute, then you know that this concealer creases on me like crazy. So I'm not looking necessarily for like it to be crease proof. I feel like the actual Fenty loose powders were way too drying for me. I ended up having to give it to my mom. She has oily skin and she liked it better for her. So I just wanted to see what the powder foundation could do under the eyes mixed in with the concealer, if that makes sense. Go ahead, finish the rest of my face, and then we're gonna come back and have a little chat. Alright, so this is the final look that we are going to be rocking today. Everything on my face will be in the description box per usual if you are curious. And as of right now, I don't have any transfer. Of course, when your oils start peeking through, you're gonna get a little bit of transfer. However, right now it looks really good, really healthy. And that's one of the things that I like about this foundation. It's so surprising. There's no like crystals or any kind of shimmer or anything in the actual pan. It does end up coming off a little bit more like a glowy kind of skincare type of thing. I don't know how they did that, but I love it. Everything feels comfortable. I don't have a ton of stuff to do today, but I am gonna try to give this a pretty good amount of wear time. All right, so with all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I'll give it about a 6 to 8, maybe even 9 hour wear test so you guys can see what that looks like. So funny story, this part of the video is actually a few days later. I believe the day that I was recording like the wear test and everything like that, I actually ended up having a headache, so I didn't feel like finishing the video. And then the next day I ended up, my breakout that I was telling you guys about got worse. And again, it's not because of the actual foundation, it's because of some other products that I was using. But now that everything's back in order, I'm gonna finish out the rest of like that day as well as what I did today. So at the end of the day, it ended up being a little bit oily. I didn't get any extra creasing or anything like that. I wasn't wearing any mask or anything, but for some reason it did start rubbing off on the top of my nose. As the oil started coming through, the pores were a little bit more noticeable. My texture was a little bit noticeable, but the feeling of it, the actual feel of the foundation, like wasn't the worst thing ever. Like you can feel it, it feels a little makeup-y, but it's just not, it wasn't super heavy and gross feeling, if that makes sense. I went ahead and re-powdered. I mean, I think that's the beautiful thing about powder foundations especially, is that you can take them with you and touch up throughout the day. And when I did re-powder, it wasn't necessarily the best look ever, but I do feel like it's better than most of the time when I do these videos and I try to powder at the end of the day, you know what I mean? It still felt okay. It was still very skin-like, very natural. So today I did go in with the regular soft matte primer. This is the original Fenty primer they came out with. I actually prefer this one anytime I use the soft matte liquid foundation, which is what I went in with today as well. For me, this is one of those foundations that the more that you build it up, the more it's going to be a little bit more matte and it's gonna feel a little bit cakey. I went ahead and did all of the rest of my makeup. I did use the number 330 under my eyes. I got that same really beautiful blurring effect without it being super matte. I don't know how this foundation does that. And then once all of my makeup was done, I went ahead and kind of buffed over the 370 shade over everything. And again, I think we have another really good makeup day. Everything looks really skin-like and natural. Like it's not super makeup-y, you know what I mean? Like you can tell I'm wearing makeup, but it's not to the point where it's like super cakey. Everything's comfortable, everything's blurred. It is now 12:50. I actually do have some errands to run today, so I will be wearing a mask. I will be out and about. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here and we'll come back and then we'll have a little chat. Alright guys, I am back and this is what my face is looking like. The funny thing is I did do my errands today. I meant to do a check-in a little bit earlier after I got in, like after wearing the mask and stuff for a few hours. Totally forgot to do that. And I just got finished with a workout. So this is what my face looks like after a workout. Which, by the way, it is now 8:37. Now I did want to go back into what it actually claims. It does say that it's a light as air powder foundation, which I completely agree with. I do feel like in every time that I've worn this, it's not something that you can feel on your face. It's very, very comfortable. Although again, when the oils start coming through, like every foundation, I say this, I feel like every video, but every foundation that you have, when your oils start coming through, you will be able to feel it a little bit. And it says it gives you a light to full coverage. For me, I feel like the coverage is a little bit more medium. And the times that I have tried to build this foundation up, I don't feel like it's gonna build up that much. I feel like medium natural is about the gist of what you're gonna get. I feel like all of the Fenty foundations have a habit of being more of a medium coverage, albeit a pretty decent medium coverage. At least on my skin, it never comes off that full coverage. And I do feel like even though it is supposed to be a matte finish, and I guess it is a soft matte, but there's almost like, again, a sheen to it, which I do love. And I don't know if sheen is the right word, but like a lit from within skin light glow is what I'll call it. And I really do enjoy that about this foundation. For me, I like powder foundations like this simply because it gives you like a little bit of variety as far as how to use it. You guys saw me do it over a regular foundation. You've seen me use the lighter color under my eyes, and it works on a multitude of levels, so I really enjoy that about this. As for if I recommend this foundation, I absolutely do. I think whether you have oily skin, me, I have dry skin, I think this is a good look for anybody. You're still gonna have to touch up like I mentioned before, but I do feel like it's a very unique sort of powder situation that's not over drying at all. Alright guys, that about does it for me. Hopefully this video was helpful. If so, please give me a thumbs up. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video if it is in your heart to do so, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.